students, and welcome to week 4. This week we'll begin balancing our thinking around thinking about data, thinking about multiple data points, and how that data informs us as educators to be able to select appropriate text for students. Selecting text is such an essential part of creating opportunities for students to be successful readers. So we will not only think about what the text needs to look like for students, but we'll think about what skills and strategies students need to be successful within each text level, and the characteristics that exist within each text. So how does the structure, length, language, decodability, or high-frequency words impact a text's level? You'll notice this week when you access the Blackboard that there are many resources for you to think about. I'd like to take a minute to walk you through Blackboard so that you can get a good understanding of our work and our thinking for this week. You'll notice that there are many resources listed for you within Blackboard this week. You'll notice that there are places where you can download resources. You'll notice that there's places for videos. So you may, as an educator and a person who is potentially going to need multiple resources engaging with your student teaching, you might be creating some digital folders and storing some of this information there. So we'll be referencing these resources again and again, and we'll be talking about them in class, but you might also want to keep them in certain places when you no longer have access to this particular course. So you'll notice that the readings this week, there are 2 chapters to read. One is in our teaching reading in the 21st century text, and one is our first chapter in reading in the Words Their Way text. So the Words Their Way concepts really include many things that we've talked about in class. Much of it is a review, but we'll begin to touch on some new concepts within that textbook. Also, you'll notice that we always need to be thinking about how our work as educators connect to the English ELA standards for Massachusetts. So this is a quick resource for you to be able to access so you can begin thinking about those connections between text levels and the standards and expectations for students within grade levels. So this particular resource is really a resource that gives you examples of different text levels and what the text might look like and what work students would be doing as readers as they're engaging in that particular level. Then you'll notice that there's other documents. So what teaching strategies exist at each level for you. So that's mapped out for you. So if you're teaching kindergarten or first grade, second grade, all the way up through the grade levels, what is the work, what are the instructional points that you have to teach within each level? And then you'll notice we have had many discussions around reading interest surveys. And so there's a video here on other insights around how to engage students with text. And then last week we did much of our thinking around phonemic awareness. So DIBELS and AIMSweb are common assessments used in many school districts, especially in grades K and 1 as screeners to identify students who may have risks, may be at risk for reading difficulties. And so there are many good things about these assessments, but there are many challenges with these assessments as well. So there are various videos and examples that you can look at around the DIBELS assessment. There's also a critical analysis of the assessment itself. And then there's a new assessment that we will be engaging in, which is in the Words Their Way textbook, which is a spelling inventory. And this is a conversation around how to analyze that assessment and then how to collect the data around that assessment for your whole class. So there are several video parts around that work. And then finally, there'll be one discussion board post with your reading response, but you'll also notice that at the end of your work, you'll be administering the reading interest inventory this week, and your reflection will be posted to the discussion board. So I will add this to your discussion board posts. So on Thursday, we will be practicing administering the DIVLs. So there's an assessment guide here. And really, we're going to be thinking about it on a first grade level, so it won't be difficult. But I want you to practice the language and the aspects of this particular assessment, since it's very common in the elementary school grades. So I look forward to learning with you this week. I know there's a lot of content in this Blackboard unit, but I'm hoping that you'll reference these resources as you're engaging in your student teaching.